Hello. My voice is probably not gonna be very loud because it's late night right now, 1 a.m. each. Today, this video it's gonna be about spiritual faith and the connection with God. Now, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. Everyone believe in different things. But if you are believing in God, like I am, whatever God it may be, uh, feel free to listen as well. So I struggle a lot. I don't know how many times I say this, but yes, that is the truth. I struggle since I was very young. I Looking back right now, so many things have changed. Not just the external, actually. The most things that change is within me, and really I start to feel more connection with God, which I worship Guan Yin. Guan Yin, which is known as, what's the name again? The Buddha of, it's okay. I don't know, but just search up Goddess of Mercy. So I feel like maybe I was destined, I was born to worship her because of my nature, my compassionate and empath nature, and in the teaching of Guan Yin as well, it's about compassion. And one thing I notice is I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself, you know, blame myself and suppose I'm responsible for how other is feeling, and I couldn't distinguish, is that a word? Sort of like separate what I care and what is truly in my control. And lately I feel more connected to a point where I just didn't feel like I need to, you know, repeat the ritual of praying in front of God. I mean, I still do that every day for years now. But it's kind of like feeling this that she's beside me, with me, guiding me. And as you know me, if you're my friend or maybe a family, you know I struggle with career path. Not just career path actually, but mainly the thing is my sense of self-worth and a sense of purpose in life. That is what I struggle most. So it links with survival, existential. Why am I here? What is my purpose in this life? I have a lot of skills and talent, but I almost feel like I can't use it yet on a career field. So like when I search for job, it almost feel like everything that I have mastered is actually not enough. It's almost like I'm at the bare minimum. Like imagine me as Chinese. I was never good at English, so it took me years to study and improve myself. And now that I have the skill, it's almost like I should have the skill just for the job description, right? For the requirement basically. And if I wanna be English teacher, for example, it's not like I'm fit for it because I don't have a certificate, and I'm not like most expert in it. I can speak fluently, but in professional grammar and stuff, I'm not there. So it's kind of this. Why is my background so bright, Jesus? So I'm basically in this state of feeling lost, but also kind of feel like I'm safe. It's kind of this weird phase. I don't know why. Uh, I feel like I'm guided. I feel like no matter what happening or will happen, it's like it was meant for me. I start to reflect. I mean, I've always been reflecting, but I start to look back for the things that happen, and I feel like maybe that happens for me. All this painful experience is why I and who I am today, especially because I reflect on myself. So that's why I feel more compassionate with others. I feel this empathy not just because it's my nature, but it's also through the reflection that I can feel for others and myself. And yeah, I still be very harsh, you know. I still feel like I need to do this or do that. I need to achieve. I need to be success. I need to have financial independence, which is true in some sense, because we live in city and everything needs money, right? So I'm not denying that money is not important. It is important. But also, what is my purpose living here in this world, in this earth, right? I start to feel like something is calling me. I don't know when exactly it is, but I remember stepping into this nature. I went to park and I just feel like it's calling me. It's like this sense of peace, even if I feel heavy or feel anxious or stressed. I feel this peace within. It's like I belong here. And I just feel like maybe I just don't really like city life. Maybe I'm longing for somewhere quiet and peaceful, maybe like a countryside life. And I don't know how it works, honestly. All I can do is just think about it and maybe eventually have a chance to try it out. And people have different opinion, so the only thing I can question is how do you know and how do I know? Because none of us tried before, right? And I don't know how things will go, but just like I said, whatever is happening right now, maybe it's just I feel it. I feel this. I feel God is guiding me, and this is where I need to be. Yeah, sure. Nobody wants to have be jobless for such a long time, right? But it's also I don't want to keep stressing myself for the sake of working or success or pleasing people. And yes, maybe in some sense my brother is right? What if one day they aren't here and one day they cut my expense, so I have to rely on myself fully, right? How am I gonna survive like this? I'm gonna need a job, right? That's true. And it's not to say taking things granted, but honestly, I just feel like we shouldn't compare with others. I hate the idea of, oh, you have it better than others. But truth is, we don't know how others' life are, right? They could be poor, but maybe they're happy than us. So it's just this endless comparing and competition, which I don't like. Especially, let's say if I'm the poor one, I get judged as well. Ah, man, you need to work hard, man. Or maybe if I hear people using me to compare, like, oh, look at Tencent, man. He have such a poor life. We should be grateful. And how do I feel about that? But back to this main topic, which is this calling and this connection and this guidance. Now I'm not gonna just feel all peace and happy in one day, and maybe I will never. Who knows? But I feel like living life and being is not just about happiness and peace, but it's about embracing everything, all life emotions, experience. And the other day I watched Heinz video. He says calm is a state of being instead of emotion. So you can be angry but still calm. You can be happy and still calm. And I kind of can relate to that because being angry doesn't mean it's bad or you know doesn't mean now you have to start fighting someone. It's just about acknowledging how you deeply feel and just be honest with yourself. And I think it's important. A lot of people choose to suppress or avoid their emotions. Maybe that's also why, in my case, this consumption of porn or video game or social media happens. It's not a problem, it's not the external, but what is missing within. And for years I neglected myself. I didn't love myself, and now I have to pay the price. It's like years of debt, and it's painful. So the smallest thing on the surface can be such a detrimental effect and such a deep healing for me. Even sometimes I look back, I'm like, maybe it wasn't really a big deal. Am I being dramatic? Maybe, maybe not. But at least I know the feeling I had was real. And I think that's the most important part. You feel it, you heal it, then you continue your journey. And that's one thing I didn't understand is how can people who've been through all this experience fail to understand and have compassion for those who are experiencing it. It's kind of like once you pass primary school or high school exam, it's just not something you worry about, right? But when you look at youngsters, they are worried about final exam, right? Maybe people will just be like, it's not a big deal. And maybe it is the truth, but the truth is also they are struggling. And what we need is to have kindness, compassion, and encouragement. And I don't think everyone can do that. And I just feel like maybe there's something within me, it's like a gift. Because it's not just what it's in my nature, but how through years I reflect on my thoughts, my action, and my feelings, how I speak, my intention to where I am now. Even there was a point where saying that I'm a compassionate or soft person feels fake, it's like I'm being arrogant or I'm looking myself too high up. But that's the truth. The truth is that is my nature. All of this is my nature. Being goofy or weird, it's not weird, sorry. Being goofy or funny, playful, that's my nature. And being weird was used to be my catchphrase for myself, how I describe myself. And looking back, I just sometimes I apologize to myself because of how many times I neglected and how many times I buried myself 6 feet, 10 feet deep. I never get a chance to heal until a few years ago. So it's probably been 3 years and a half or something on my self-heal journey. And the toughest part as well is not everyone is gonna see that. The hardest thing that you go through, people might just make fun of you or give you but that also I start to realize it's not about the opinion of others. It's not to say just ignore them, but it's more about understanding why do I care about their opinion. Firstly, it's because when I was younger, how I was treated and how I believe that by being successful or doing right things or being obedient leads to being loved. So it's conditioned love. And maybe people don't realize that, but that's some seed that planted within me, and that goes years and years. It grows. The roots is toxicated, and I didn't realize that. I suffer again and again. I did never know the answer. I never understand why, and I start blaming myself. And blaming myself can also come from the experience that you have. People blame you for how you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, that's your problem. because you're weak, because you can't handle the heat. So there's a lot of things that are internalized, and so that self-love journey and forgiveness wasn't easy because it's been very painful. And sometimes, like I said before, my mind would think very easily, just want to end it all. But I think back again and again. I know I don't want to do that. Never my intention. It's just easy to think about it, just to escape everything else. Sometimes I do wonder too. Do people actually heal, or the pain is still there, and someday they just might take their life? But here I am, still here. And honestly, I don't think it's an easy thing to do. It takes courage, And I just feel like I just can't keep comparing with others. I can't keep. How do I explain it? But you get me, hopefully. At least I do get myself. I just want to live, basically. I just want to. Whatever is calling me, whatever is resonated with me, I want to keep going. So again, I'm not saying money is not important. It is hell important. But it's how you use it really determines it, right? I mean, if you can't afford a 20 ringgit, how much 20 ringgit? $4? I don't know. But in Malaysia, if you can't afford a 20, 30 ringgit food, maybe just 10, Add something. As long as it fills your stomach. And I can't afford a car, so I bought a cheap motor, which is like 3,800 ringgit. It's very cheap. Still can't afford, I still haven't paid my dad back because I'm not working yet. But yeah, I noticed my life been struggling with survivor, and I think that's also why I love to play survivor game, because it's about working hard and earning and stabilizing your life. That makes me feel in control of my action. Like, I made it, I can live like this, I don't need fucking expensive shit, right? I don't even value expensive cars. I'm not saying people shouldn't. It's just my preference. For me, I can go point A to point B, that's it. And I don't need to eat expensive food all the time. Sometimes maybe 20 or 25, maybe occasionally 30. But usually if I eat under 10 ringgit, that's enough. And I don't need to have air conditioner, or so many examples basically. So I share all these things. I didn't just want people to watch it, but I also want you, which is me basically, to watch it. Not just to watch, but as I talk to myself, I can hear myself. And I don't typically watch back my video because it feels weird. So as I talk, I express, I'm being honest with myself. And I think that's the most important thing. I don't think I need to keep proving to others, keep debating what is right, what is wrong, right? Everyone have their own struggle. Some people live a pay bill to bill life. So how can I compare? How can I debate, right? And I don't need to make a point just to win against others. I just need to know what feels right for me, A few days ago, my grandma passed away, and I don't really see her often. I only meet her like once a year. But I still have this certain impression about her. Like, sometimes she just look at me, just smile. She's such a sweet lady. And today is the first time I see someone who passed away in front of me in a casket. And it feels weird, honestly. It's like is she sleeping, right? But I know she's not. I mean, she's sleeping forever, basically. So, it makes me think a lot, She passed away at the age of 93, and here I am, just worrying about living. What if I'm 93 one day and before I die, I just never live? All these worries, what if it never happened? What if I just keep painfully hurting myself for the sake of for the sake of showing that I care about myself, but truth is I'm hurting myself more. What if I can just live and not controlling so much, not following this script that everyone is living. No, sorry, not everyone. Not following this script where you're supposed to live this way, right? What if at 28, then only have a girlfriend, then not have children? Maybe I live at the countryside, slow life. Sometimes go hunting, or maybe not hunting, maybe just trading, and then live a slow life, Not much money, but maybe I don't need that luxury. And that's something I've been doing as well. One thing I noticed, I just keep on focus on this financial independency, that I neglect so much on this other part of independency. I used to rely on my family heavily on everything, but now I do things on my own. Not everything, but for example, I go to bank and take money on my own, drive motor to buy food on my own. I try to buy ingredient and cook on my own, and I talk to waiter or at counter, seek for assistance on my own. All these things I ask people to do it for me because I'm scared. And I've been active on searching job as well, where 1 year ago it was detrimental, just being rejected like three times in a day, and I've been doing that. I just didn't want to find a random working job, but if I can't find what I want right now, I suppose doing something random is not as bad too. Maybe it help me grows, and maybe I feel more stable with financial, feel more control. But I think a point is, sometimes I think about it, maybe it's just not the external, right? So like I have A, now I want B. I have B, I want C, but I never really appreciate deeply for the things that I have, the things that I'm having, or the things that I don't have. And it's kind of, sometimes I feel this despair, because it's like I keep wishing for one thing, I finally get it. Now I just regret for pushing so hard for that thing, because I missed another one that I have all this time. I keep thinking about how life would be, how great it would be if I get to a certain point. But I was only just focusing on what's far ahead, the things that I have not done well yet, the things that I have not performed well yet. But I never really appreciate and embrace what I have. And maybe that's one thing also I feel more connected with God, is that maybe this is just where I need to be, even if family or society tells me that I'm not supposed to be here, right? I'm 24, I'm a man, I should be making money on my own, things like this. But here I am, making content that has barely any views, not even making any money. And I even have a separate channel which I make animation and just meme or wholesome sentimental stuff. And yeah, I do so many type of art, learn on my own, but like I said earlier, it almost feel like all this thing I do is just the bare minimum I need to hit, and I just feel like without a certificate it's just not enough. And with a certificate, with all the money and time and effort I put in just to get that amount of salary, I'm not saying salary like need to go sky high, but now that I think about it, I just sometimes feel like measuring my skill and my worth as an employee to the salary that I have. And it's just like, god damn it, man, it's not that much, isn't it? Like I said before, I think 40,000 ringgit for a 2-year course in 3D animation, and I work there in a company and I get paid 2.2k to 2.7. It's not that much, because what I learned is it's what's that called? It's something that you learn specifically, right? So yeah, definitely make a wise choice to quit that job, because I didn't enjoy it there either. I'm getting off track, so I'm gonna end this video right here. And sometimes when people they comment about believing in Jesus and whatever, I didn't go this how dare you, I'm not a Christian, right? Because I know they mean well. Even I am not a Christian, but thank you forever who comment, trust in Jesus and Jesus love you, or maybe they gave me some chapters about what is that, Matthew something. Sorry, don't mean to offend anyone, but I just want to say thank you for all the blessing. Thank you. I honestly, if I disregard everything else, the consequences, right, how things will go, I do really wish one day being a moderately recognized YouTuber, make some money. Maybe that's all I need, having some income basically, even if it's just 100 or 200 ringgit. I feel like that would be something too. Now I say disregard everything is because I notice maybe this is where I need to be, right? Maybe if I get popular or well known or successful too early, I would be very overwhelmed, because currently I'm struggling with a lot of anxiety and pressure with myself, and I feel depressed sometimes, and stress, all that. So maybe that's why I feel like maybe God is giving me more personal time for myself to heal. And a lot of time people don't see me healing, but I do. I see myself healing, and it wasn't easy. It's about recognizing what I needed, and I think that's also one thing when it comes to the so-called overcoming porn addiction or game addiction, right? It's never about overcoming them, it's never about conquering them, but it's just understanding why do you use it to begin with. What is missing within you, and what do you truly need? And lately I also noticed I start to spend more time in silence. Sometimes I still use music because it's so many anxious thoughts, and maybe because of this ringing in my ears as well, so I can't just be in a room without fan or without music sometimes, because it's just annoying. I notice it a lot. Maybe embracing the silence a little bit more. Sometimes I purposely choose not to use music. Sometimes I spend time sitting at a park, just watching the cloud and the grass, the trees. It gives me a sense of peace. Like today, I just drink tea and I remember I take off my slipper. I just walk barefoot on the pavement and on the grass. Feels nice, it's like I am back to this embrace of nature. And I just experience and appreciate the essence of nature itself. It's beautiful. So take care everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Yeah.